Welcome everybody to the Hex Token channel live. Sorry, I was a little bit late there. Thought I was going to get stuck somewhere, but managed to get to the desk. How about that? Very cool. Folks, say hello to everybody in the chat there. Let's go, because we've got lots of good topics today. It's going to be pretty fun. Let's see who's in the chat. Going to make sure the audio is up and running, of course. Let me double check that on the studio here as we go. Yeah, audio is good. No poll today, but we're going to get into some cool topics around the Hex Investment Trust, which has just launched. Hope you like that little preview video from that I posted yesterday from Kinetics and Wales on the Discord Syndicate. Pretty awesome. Very exciting to see that up and running. See how it's really great when things get delivered and hit the market. We've been waiting in anticipation for a few months now. Of course, the legal work always takes a bit longer than people expect with the PPM, that investment disclosure, stuff like that. So we're going to talk about that. It's going to be a lot of fun. That's going to play, obviously, an increasing role in Hex as the time goes on. But we're going to give a quick look at the financial impact of that. We're going to look at the road to NASDAQ as well, to public exchange listings. That's really allowing Hex to get onto public exchanges. So we're going to get into that. We're also going to look at the Hedron price, of course, which is having a move down now. And of course, this was expected. If it didn't go up above certain levels, then it was going to have a bit of a pullback. So we're seeing that, but basically means that there's opportunities to pick that up at the right time. So we're going to look at the Hedron price. The other thing, of course, is that we're going to look at Hex price, of course. And of course, what else we're looking at? We're looking at all the sacrifices, liquid loans, and the upcoming one there with internet money and stuff like that. So we've got lots of good stuff, folks. Hopefully I've left nothing off today's, but it's going to be pretty cool. Subscribe, like, share, hit the bell, and of course, let's get into it. Hey, don't forget, we also got the Richard Hart, trying to get Richard Hart's YouTube channel back on. I have posted a tweet on the communities tab. Please follow that, and of course, put a comment in there for YouTube creators to get Richard Hart's YouTube channel back. You know how they work. I don't have to tell you guys. We just got to get them back, help get them back on, regardless of the situation. So that's about all I'll say on that. But yeah, if you can do that, support that. Let's get Richard Hart back. Very cool. All right, cool. Let us just get into the chat here. We've got a few people in the house. We've got Javier looking forward to it. Says Javier, hey, that's awesome. And so am I. Tafrin's got the money bags and rockets in the house. Good to see Tafrin in there. John Kinnear is in the house. Woohoo! This is going to be epic. Awesome. Hey, John, appreciate that. Red Groove's in there, locked on and listening. Love it. Hey, we got two. If you're a Hex Token channel member, we've got 2 new emojis. So definitely post those emojis in the chat. Let's see if actually anyone's done that yet. Let us see here if someone's done the emojis. Yes, Tin Top's done it. Woo! Tin Top's, yeah, Tin Top's missing one. Tin Top, you haven't done one of them. The latest one, of course, is a channel emoji. Let's see if anyone, I don't think anyone's done it there. No one's picked it up. So definitely first Hex Token channel member to post the new emoji, the Hex Token channel Richard Hart emoji. Post it out. Let's go. Of course, Brownie's in the house there with the emojis. Tin Top's got, what's up, Hexicans? Simple Believer, another Hex Token channel member. Has the live stream officially moved to a different time every day? I keep missing it since Simple Believer. I've been doing 3:30 for the last, since the Hexpo conference, but I'm looking to do 2 live streams. So we'll see how that ends up. I'm going to try and do one in the morning, my time, which will probably suit maybe Americans a lot more. And then, of course, one later in the day, which will probably suit Asia, Australasia type of a bit better. So we'll see. I might put a poll out on that. We'll see how we go. But I want to move to 2 live streams, but about, a decent amount apart, maybe 10 hours apart or something. I'll try and work it out. Tin Top says, woohoo, with the emojis. Sanjeev's in the house from Greetings from India. And Kiwi83 is in the house. Woohoo. And IL's in the house. Woohoo. If you wonder what the woohoos are, folks, it is the channel anthem. And, of course, we love it. We love the excitement that Hex, Pulsechain, and Pulsechain are going to bring to our lives. It's going to be awesome for 2022, 23. Going to be very cool. Hexagon Tattoos in the house. Yo. What's up, Hexicans? And a Human Hex Tracker is in there as well. What's up, family? Nice one. Chris Doss says, hi, Superman. Question about how much does Hex inflate each day? A number of tokens, your guess. Well, yeah, it's typically maybe about 10 million a day, just as an example, but we'll look at that a bit later. About 10 million a day, maybe. The inflation's over 1%. So the actual inflation for Hex is 3.69% per year, up to that. But of course, it's actually lower because all the people stake 6.3 years and so the inflation is deferred until the actual Hex comes into the market. Because when you stake Hex, you burn your Hex, so it disappears, and then of course you get shares in return. And when you finish your stake, you get your Hex back. It suddenly magically appears. Plus, you'll get the inflation and the penalties that you get your share of. So they all come back into reality. It's a bit like quantum physics, isn't it? Come back into reality later on. So yeah, that's kind of how it works. So yeah, the inflation is actually pretty low. Some people estimate somewhere between like 1.1 and 1.6%, depending on whose charts you're looking at. But it is pretty low in that area. So because all inflation is deferred into the future, it's one of the wonderful fundamentals of Hex. And it's probably pretty well misunderstood by a lot of people. Hopefully I've made it a little bit clearer there. I guess that Crypto Sparbook, Whales Only have some good charts on that. Probably Gerardo may have. I haven't seen one on Gerardo's, but maybe he has. But definitely those first two have. Woohoo! Gen X is in the house. Gen X, woohoo! Hey, so check out Gen X's YouTube channel. He's just started it. I see that he's already got 30, 40 subscribers. Go subscribe. I haven't put that on the channel members channel. I recommended channels tab yet for on Hex Token, but I will put Gen Hex on there. That's Craig Wadding, folks. If you want to go subscribe, he's going to give his own fresh perspective on Hex, Pulsechain, and Pulsex. And we love this, right? We want more content creators out there spreading the word as we move into Pulsechain and mass adoption. It's going to be pretty cool. So a big shout out to Gen Hex there. Go subscribe. I have got him on. Posted his channel on the community tab if you want to check that out. I think it's the third last one I've done. All right, so Craig's got the emojis in the house. Woo-hoo-hoo. Speaking of Craig Wadding, nice. You're doubling up there, Craig. Nice one. And a big Simpson in the house. Woo-hoo-hoo. Brent's in the house. Woo-hoo. Man, we're going to be crazy today. I can see it. Tim Tot says new favorite, a favorite flavor of emoji. I was saving it for, and of course you posted it. Well done. So Craig and Tim Top have posted the new latest emoji, which is the Richard Hart Hex Token channel logo. And that's with the old thump there with the Hex Token. Very nice. And of course, we got the 555 as the last one we added in there. So cool. All right. So nice one. Thanks for the shout out, says Craig. You're welcome. We'll definitely get you out, get your subscribers up fast and furious. Looking forward to your content for that for sure. All right, here we are, folks, on hex.com. And of course, this is where it all began. So if you're new to hex.com or Hex, Hex is also going to have Pulsechain. It's going to be a copy of Ethereum, and it's going to be super fast, super cheap. It's like a blockchain network. And of course, it's going to have all the same code because it's a copy of Ethereum. And then also Pulsex is coming up. It's going to be like Uniswap on Ethereum, and it's an exchange. And of course, people, it's going to be amazing on there. It's going to be way better than Uniswap. It's going to be supercharged tokenomics. And everyone can't wait for it. It's going to be the biggest year of fame in crypto history. So we've got Pulsechain and Pulsex coming along, but Hex, of course, is the ultimate savings product. Around about 37, 38% APY if you're on a 6.3 year stake there. You can get I think it's about 12% per annum at the moment if you do a 1 year stake or an investment. So when we use the word stake, we really mean like an investment or certificate deposit or a term deposit, something like that. And of course, that's what you do. It's a little different in the fact that you take your Hex, you swap it for shares. It's kind of a little bit different like that. So it's just one way to look at it. So a little bit different in crypto, but it's very, very powerful. Obviously, the rate of return is amazing. I see that inflation in the United States hit about 7.9%. Looks like it's going to continue to grow, and of course, unrelentingly so. So getting a high return like Hex is amazing. And of course, that is a super, super sell point for the Hex Investment Trust as well. So we're going to talk about that. So obviously, check this out. You can buy Hex on Uniswap, even on the website here on hex.com. The link's in the video description. You can buy Hex here, of course, with Ethereum, and you can maybe download a MetaMask wallet, stuff like that. There's lots of instructions here on this website. Check it out. And of course, you can stake that for up to 5,505 days. 15.2 years, which gives you the maximum bonus you can have for the 15-year period. So it's very exciting, folks. Get into that. Check it out. Spread the word. Share this amongst your friends and family. This is the best chart in crypto for much of 2020 and much of 2021. And we're pretty confident we're going to get back there into 2022 and 2023 and beyond. So it's going to be a lot of fun. So let's get into the investment trust, folks. Let us go back into the main page. Let's go in here. So this is the site here. So this is the homepage. This is the Hex Investment Trust. Let me post this in the chat. and get that out there. Woohoo! Hey, Tintot says he's number 33 sub on GenHex. Nice one, Tintot. And then, of course, there is the trust there. Boom. Am I showing that correctly? Is that showing? There it's finally showing. So check that out. And, of course, this is run by Kinetics and Wales Only and a few other people. And, of course, that's off the Discourse Syndicate channel, which are doing a lot of different products to support the growth of Hex, Pulsechain, and PulseX. So big shout out to all the work they do. As you guys, many of you guys know them, know how hard they work. And, of course, things do take time, but things are coming to market. We've seen that. The Mountain Crypto Advisors has come to market. Now we've got the Hex Investment Trust. You can see this is really setting the foundation for virality and mass adoption. And, of course, introducing, big traditional finance into crypto as well. So it's pretty powerful. Hex Investment Trust is kind of like the Grayscale for Bitcoin. And, of course, as we know, that's worth billions and billions of dollars. I think they add in hundreds of millions per month or somewhere about that into the investment. So you can see the potential for Hex Investment Trust is amazing, given that Hex is really fundamentally a better product and a better market fit. So let's get into it, folks. That's awesome. So it's also got the Hex price here on the website, which I think is pretty cool. And, of course, you can just click the Start Investing button. So if you want to see how to get, they're not really targeting Hexkins, although some Hexkins will be using this, I'm sure. And there are specific things to it. So what do we know so far? We know so far that they're targeting $10 million as their first target. Remember, they're going to be doing this is private first, and then they're going to take it on the road to public listing, a place like something like NASDAQ or something like that. So they're starting private. That's what they're doing first. So raising money privately to accredited investors. And, of course, then they're going to try and, once they reach those targets, show the products up and running. They're going to try and get it listed on exchanges like NASDAQ, which is one of the biggest ones in the world. So it's very, very exciting. This is a major development in crypto. I'm surprised we haven't seen more people on YouTube there commenting on this. This is a major piece of pumpamental for Hex, Pulsechain, and PulseX. So very, very cool. Now, they're not just going to stop at Hex. Kinetics has teased that they're also going to be doing other products around here. So I imagine that Pulse will probably be one of those, and very, very exciting. So cool. Now you can get the information. Now there is a PPM or a disclosure document. And, of course, for these investors, so you probably won't get that until you've, been kind of vetted, as it were. You do have to fill in this document here. So for accredited investors only, it does give you a definition of what those are. So you have to meet these qualifications here. Pretty much $200,000 looks like it. Any trust with 5 million or more, something like that. So you can read that in your own time. The other thing, of course, it doesn't actually just apply to US citizens. It is kind of open to globally, as long as you're an accredited investor under the SEC rules. So Regulation D there. So cool. So that's a bit of answer there. So anybody can actually apply, but the Kinetics team aren't really targeting Hexkins per se. They're really trying to onboard traditional finance markets. So getting money from traditional markets into this market. Obviously, the official markets are in the hundreds of trillions of dollars. And so they're trying to get some of that money into the Hex and pump the Hex. Okay, so that's pretty much that. So pretty much they ask you for your personal information, your residence information, your worth, of course, etc. So you've got a few things, any advisors you've got, personal data there, situations, and, of course, and then you have to make some statement declarations about being an accredited investor. And also, I think they actually have, or maybe they don't have it here, but yeah, are you a current Mountain Crypto Advisor client? So yes or no. So that's also in there as well. Once you do that, you can submit the form and they'll get back to you, no doubt, and arrange maybe a communication with you in some form. And that would probably also include the investment disclosure if you actually get a move to that stage where you can actually basically invest your money in the Hex Investment Trust. And then, of course, their first target is this. Their first target is $10 million within 3 months. And, of course, Kinetics seems very bullish that they'll get that quite easy and fast. So that could happen within a month. I mean, they have already had queries and stuff like that, Kinetics has said. So that's actually looking pretty bullish. Obviously, once they reach that target, they're going to keep, try and move to the next targets that they've got. So they'll have targets all the way leading to NASDAQ. And, of course, NASDAQ leading would be absolutely massive. They would open up to institutions of all sorts. And so very, very cool. All right, so this is pretty exciting, folks. So $10 million, that's kind of the thing. Now, how they're going to do the unit? They're going to have units. So basically, when you put the money in, the Hex Investment Trust is going to buy Hex, and then, of course, they don't have to buy it when they get 10 million. They can buy it as money comes in. So if they get $1 million in, they can go buy Hex, that kind of thing. They'll no doubt use a matcher in 1 inch, and they'll do probably some limit orders, sell into it, or something like that. So I don't think they'll be doing any market buying, because that's inefficient, right? That's inefficient. So they'll be doing it the smart way. The other thing, of course, is that that will definitely end up pumping the Hex price, because obviously it's not that much Hex in the pools. Uniswap has 4 pools. Vision 2 pools, Vision 3 pools. They have USD and Ethereum. So there's 4 of those on both of those versions. And so we talk about that every day. So they'll be doing that the smart way. They obviously just buying Hex is going to push the market price up anyway. So it is pretty positive. So that's really cool. The big thing, of course, is that they're going to be targeting $10 million to their first target. I don't know what their targets after that are. They haven't let that be known so far that I've seen. And of course, the unit for the unit that's going to be in the trust is going to be 10 Hex. Is going to be the unit that they're going to be having for the unit price in the trust. So that's going to be pretty cool. There are a few other little qualifications there. The fact that I don't think that they'll be tradable on a second market until they get to a public listing like NASDAQ. So it's definitely something you have to ask if you ever got involved with this. Obviously, they're targeting, like I say, onboarding traditional money, not hexagons per se, but hexagons can participate if they want to act as a credit investor. And that actually, maybe they want to do their IRA. Maybe they can push that in, because I'm pretty sure you can push your IRA into this. It has got here, get more information on why the Hex Investment Trust is the best trustless yield asset for long-term 401ks and IRA strategies. So it looks like regardless of your Hex holdings, if you wanted to get your 401k or IRAs into this, looks like you could do that if you qualify as a accredited investor. So very exciting there as well. So yeah, it's pretty inclusive that way. The other thing I would say is that what's the impact of this going to be? So let's say $10 million within 3 months, and let's say they could hit that really easy. They could take them the full 3 months. So Connects is very positive. They do have access to, apparently last year in November, they said access to $1 billion investment network and advisors. So they're also probably going to be doing marketing with this as well. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see this out. But I think this is going to be pretty successful, to be honest. The other thing, of course, is the big carrot. The big carrot is the Hex product itself. And of course, these guys are kind of repackaging it for traditional finance, so they can actually invest in Hex. And so they're really going to be doing the APY for Hex is so amazing, right? 38%, as we say, that it's going to be how they're going to beat this product on the market, right? How they're going to beat this kind of return, especially moving forward. So I think this is going to be a game changer. It's going to make Grayscale look like, pretty crappy if you think about it from a percentage yield return. So this is going to be pretty easy sell, I would say, because you're going to get this, every year type of thing. It's going to be pretty badass, isn't it? So I think that's pretty cool. And I think they're going to be hugely successful with that. So how does this translate? What impact will this product have on Hex? So let's get into that. We've talked about the actual investment Hex Investment Trust. Let's jump over to, I was just going to say it's a 506C registered private trust available to accredited investors. So just take that into account. So it's registered, I guess, with the SEC and the United States Security Commission. So very, very cool. Let's have a quick look at what that might mean. Of course, let's take $10 million and let's do it a different way. Let's look at, we're going to first of all go to the Hex pool, and we know that we've got the ending day 831. So we're now on day 832. So 831, we had 231.5 million Hex in the pool. So let's take that. Let's take that amount in the pool, 231.500 million. Right. So let's take that. So it's 231.5 million Hex in the Uniswap pools. Now, obviously, you can't buy all the Uniswap pools, because that's the way that the AMM liquidity works. It can only go so far, right? Unless everyone pulls their liquidity out of the pool, right? So we're just using this for simplicity's sake. So you take that, of course, and then we're going to take the share rate. So the share rate that closed today was 21,073. So we're going to round it up to 74. So 2174. So we're going to divide this total amount of hex by 21,074. So that's 21,074 is how much hex you need for a day stake, right? 1 day stake. So this excludes the effective bonus that you get when you stake hex, right? You get an effective bonus, 20% more shares per year up for 10 years, 3,641 days. So we're going to ignore that that side of it. We'll add that in later. So we've got the total amount of hex in the Uniswap pools divided by the share rate, and of course that's going to give us, we need 21,074 hex per T-share for a day stake. We've got 231.5 million in the pool. How much is that? So that there is 10,985 T-shares. T-shares, trillions of shares. That's how much, right? So 10,000, that's nothing, right? That's nothing. So we've got 985 T-shares in the Uniswap pool that you could buy, assuming you could buy it all, which you can't because the price just goes up through the roof, right? You have to add a lot more supply to it. So we've got 10,985. Let's do that. Divide that by how many, what have we got now? How many total T-shares do we have at the moment? So we know that we've got 10.7 million, but let's get the exact number here as we go. So here's the T-shares, 10,706,000. So 10,706,000. And what was the last number there? It was 206. Let's be accurate with this. 206, just for fun. And of course, there, bam. All right, so I didn't do that right. Let me just do that again. 985 divided by 10, 706, 206. All right, that's probably because I took much around. So there we are, 0.01%. So it's a nothing burger, right? It's a nothing burger. So if we took all the hex in Uniswap, we've got kind of like a nothing burger in terms of the percentage. Really is a fraction of that. So there we are. All right, so there we are. Let's go over to the actual amount. So we've got $10 million. Let's say that we buy that. So we've got 10 million. And of course, we're going to divide 10 million by the amount of hex, right? So we know the price of hex at the moment is about, let's take the in-day price here of hex. We've got the price here at 12.8. Let's do 12.8 cents. So we're going to divide that by 0.128. So, and we're going to see what that is. So that's 78 million hex, right? 78 million hex. So we got 78 million hex. We know that that's how much we're going to be able to buy with 10 million, right? That's at the current price. That's assuming we get the current price. Obviously, if you're buying, the price is going to go up. So let's say 78 million hex. We're going to then, of course, we're going to then divide 78 million. So we've got 78 million hex. That's how much we bought. 125, 123, and we're going to divide that by the share rate, right? So we have the share rate, which is now 21,074. So that's how many we're going to get. So do we divide 21,074, and of course that's going to give us 3,707 T-shares. So 7,700 T-shares for 1 day stake. That's how much they're looking to buy, right? So that's how much is that? That's about a third of what you could do if you bought all of the hex in Uniswap at the moment. So that's how much it is. Obviously, there's not a lot of hex in Uniswap. It is so expensive to get T-shares now. A lot of the T-share days we do see from Hex OGs. If we go over to the T-shares that we had today, we had 10,000 T-shares go in today. We had 9,000 go out yesterday. So 10,000 T-shares is a lot, right? As we showed that you'd have to pretty much stake all the hex in Uniswap to get that 10,000 T-shares. And that's because the OGs holding, the OGs hold a lot of the stuff, including the Origin account. So these T-shares, I think somewhere around about maybe 13%, somewhere in that ballpark, is held by the Origin account. The rest of it's in public hands by hardcore hexicans, right, who are staking those hardcore. That's kind of the way that rolls. Of course, we've got the big whales as well in there as well, Overwatch, and I guess Hex Guy Whale, possibly three arrows is still there, and a few others. So there's a lot of that sort of stuff going on. So cool. So there we are, 3,700. But of course, these guys are not staking for a day. They're not staking for a day. They're staking for 15 years. 15 years. So they're not staking 15 years. So what do? We get 20% more shares per year. So we just times this. We get up to 10 years, which means 200% more. So we're going to times this by 3, and that's going to give us 11,121 T-shares. That's how many T-shares they're going to get. And of course, we can see the percentage there as well. That's how much they're going to get there. So about that much. So 0.01 pretty much. So that's pretty awesome. And that's how much they're going to get there. So just a still small fraction, but important amount. And the scale of things these days, that's a pretty huge amount. So that's actually bigger than the amount in the pool that they were going to be able to get. And so it is actually a pretty big deal. And of course, this is just one new big whale that's just going to be buying, accumulating and buying, staking 555 and never selling for that period. So it's going to be pretty exciting to see that play out. I think it's pretty positive. Yeah, wow, pretty neat. All right, so cool. Let's just clear all this stuff off. So that just kind of gives you an idea of the impact. That was just a quick overrun there. And I think that's pretty impressive for sure. So they'll be able to get as many T-shares or just slightly more T-shares if they bought everything up. But obviously, as they buy, they're going to push the price up. So that's just a basic math there on the current price. So interesting stuff. All right, so that's kind of the impact there. That's the short-term impact play. Of course, that's going to be pushing the price up, putting up the T-shares. The T-shares going to lower the APY just a little bit, just by a fraction. You saw that. That's not going to be a big deal on T-shares. You'd have to go from 10.7 million T-shares up to like 11 million T-shares again to get our Hex payout down to like 5.75 or somewhere around there. So it's not a big deal. At the moment, we're pretty close to 6 T-shares, 6 Hex a T-share. Not far from that. We're pretty close to that. So you'd have to actually get like a 300,000 more T-shares to really have an impact. As I said, it looks like they, at the moment with the 10 million, they could do about 11,000 15 years, which is great. And of course, they're going to help. There's just another buying. Of course, if they go much bigger of that, 20 million, 30 million, you see it just adds up. And of course, when they go public, you could end up getting hundreds of millions, potentially billions into it as well. So it is pretty exciting. There's going to be no other product listing on a public exchange when they do get there, like Hex, that can offer 38% APY, plus, of course, the penalties. So it's going to be pretty amazing. So I think that's pretty exciting. Obviously, that is what the investment trust is, the kind of the impact it can have in the near term with the 10 million target. Obviously, they'll have other targets in there. And of course, the next phase, of course, is listing on NASDAQ. So NASDAQ is this one here. You've probably seen a lot on TV where they ring the bell, ding, 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 and everybody's excited. And of course, they open up the markets and they close the markets. It's kind of a ceremony, but you've seen a lot of that. So that's how big it is. One of the biggest exchanges in the world. Of course, it's probably been more exciting for NASDAQ in the past, when these things when you didn't really have digital trading, a lot of floor trading. And of course, this is where these ceremonies were so famous in New York and stuff like that. So, but anyway, it's a big deal. Obviously, they have lots of markets, stocks, funds, ETFs, indexes, commodities, cryptocurrencies, currencies, futures, fixed income, global markets. They have all that. They have a lot of other stuff in there. So it is a pretty big deal. So that's the road. So Hex Investment Trust is on the road from private, moving to public and getting on NASDAQ, opening it up for institutions to invest in and further stuff like that. So it's pretty awesome. This is really Hex's road to traditional markets, or if you want to call it the big time, because still the vast majority of wealth is still on these markets. Well, like I say, hundreds of trillions of dollars. I think it's somewhere maybe in $200 trillion, somewhere in that ballpark. Is a pretty big deal. That's just within the underlying markets and derivatives there too. So it's pretty awesome. And of course, Hex Scales has done billions of dollars, the biggest, I think, public owner of Bitcoin. So you can see that the investment trust could do very, very well indeed. Now, I think that's pretty exciting, folks. I've been waiting for this a long time. Talk to you guys a long time about this. Hope you guys are excited about it. It's pretty cool. Let me know in the chat what you think. If you've heard something that I haven't heard, also get into the chat. Obviously, I do my best to keep onto these things, but there's always a chance that I miss something there, here or there. So get into the chat if you have seen anything to share with the community. That's what it's really about, sharing all the good news that's happening with Hex, Pulsechain, and Pulsec. So get in there, folks, with that. All right, so what else we got? We got Bob Wells in here. Hello from Canada. Hey, Canada. Hey, good to see you, Bob. And due to the time differences, we don't get many live shows. Woohoo! Hey, Bob. Well, I'm going to try and do 2 live shows a day. And like I say, I'm going to try and probably have them about 10 hours apart or something like that. It's got to work, something that's workable for me and the time zones. So I'm going to think about that. Fish Tank says when launch, yeah, or when lunch. Or lunch is pretty soon. Fish Tank, lunch is pretty soon. Tintop says Great White North represented. Good day. Hey Tintop, good to see you in the Great White North. You're talking about Canada, eh? Bob Wells says 6 hours and 44 minutes to go. Woo! I go. Nice. Bob Wells, good day to see you. And what else we got? Fish Tank says early reports, Iran, US Embassy in Iraq. What is happening to our beautiful world? I haven't actually seen that part, so that's probably just happened. Cryptomaniac says, what do you think they will do when there is both PHEX and HEX? So that's the point. So they are doing both chains. So good point there, Cryptomaniac. The Hex Investment Trust are doing Hex on Ethereum, Hex on a Pulsechain. So very, very exciting. There'll be obviously every Hex that they buy on Ethereum will be copied over to Pulsechain. That's a good point. Kinetic said that he was very excited. As I've said to you guys, they'll be wanting to launch now while the price is at this time, because that way their returns are even greater. So very, very good timing. Good timing for the price. Good timing for them. It really is a very, very cool thing. Yeah, they're going to be having obviously any stakes that they made for 555 will be copied over to Pulsechain, and of course any liquid that they buy will also be copied over if they have that there as well. So very, very cool. Tintop says, everyone put your thumb on that button. Yeah, hit the subscribe button, hit the thumbs button. Hey, we're almost at 3,400 subscribers, and you guys have all made it possible. So do keep spreading the word about this channel as we promote Hex, Pulsechain, and PulseX. Lots of fun stuff coming up this year. We're going to have a blast, folks. It's not just the end game, as I always say, it's the journey as well. And I think we're going to have a lot of fun on the way. So it's going to be very, very cool. Bob Wells says, done and dusted. And what's up, peeps? Is Hexkin from Hexco. Hey, love it. I love it. We've all got to go to Hexco. A lot of people in Hexkins have talked about getting like a piece of land and maybe an island or something, and making it just a paradise fun place for all the Hexkins and Pulsexkins to go to. I think that's a pretty good idea. We can have our own laws as well and true freedom there as well. So, right, so that's pretty nice. Refine says math class. Yeah. I foresee the Hex Investment Trust have set limit orders and are setting a price floor as we speak. Are you kidding me, Tintop? Woohoo! Nice one, Tip-Top. Well, I'll have to check that out for sure. Hexy Club says pump. Absolutely. Let's go, says Hexy Club. And what else we got going? Sup, Hexico. Dingo Wolf's in the house. Hey, in Hex we trust. I love it, Dingo Wolf. In Hex we do trust. Very, very exciting. Hey, we've got so much stuff happening. Of course, we've got Hex, Pulsechain, and PulseX. We've also got all the other projects that are going on Pulsechain. It's very cool to talk about all those, and we do that on this channel. But let's not forget the core brand with Hex and Pulsechain and PulseX. Not forget to just keep that out there, not get distracted too much, but really just keep pushing that out as we move to mass adoption. Very important. We have clear branding, clear communications on that stuff. So very, very cool. Tintop says soon boomers can invest in Hex through their Scott Trade or Fidelity account. Wild said, Tintop, nice one. Some really good comments there. Jimbo Sticks says, great work, mate. You cover plenty. I appreciate that, Jimbo Sticks. Very, very cool. Another Hex Token channel member, Craig Whiting says, 66 watching, 28 likes. Hit that like button. Supports the channel. Like. Subscribe. Hit the bell. Share. You know how it works. All right, I'm starting to sound like a complete crazy person, but let's get on to it. Cryptomaniac says, when will they buy more after the fork? Yeah, they'll probably just keep buying Cryptomaniac. That's what they're going to be doing, just accumulating, buying, staking 5 for 5, and never selling. So it's going to be pretty cool, Cryptomaniac. And as they receive money in, they'll be buying stuff. You know, I guess they'll do. I don't know what they'll have their own buying policy, and maybe they buy every 100,000. Maybe they buy every 500,000. Who knows what they're going to do? When they see the price being really good, maybe they'll buy as that as well. I'm sure that Wales Only's done plenty of analysis on that for them too. So very, very cool, folks. Let's get on to the Hex price. Here we go. Boom. All right. So the Hex price is now at 12.6 cents. So still a very attractive rate. And this is the hourly. It's kind of been going sideways here, zigzagging up and down between 12.8 cents and what's this? 12.4 cents. So just zigzagging at the moment. In the top part of the Bollinger Bands, though, so it's kind of good. And the Bollinger Bands is narrowing, so we'll probably see some breakout either way. Let's go to the daily. It's a much better way to look at it. There's not a lot of big volumes on the hourly, though. Just take that into account. And, of course, here we are. We've got the Bollinger Bands. The top blue is the top 95%. The bottom blue is the bottom 5%. And, of course, in the middle, the red one is 50% price mark. We can see that we're kind of in the middle there. and that's the way we're going. But let's get some more structure there. Let's add in our structure, and of course we're in this giant triangle. We're trying to move out of that, break out to the upside with the green arrow there. Now we're waiting obviously for that to happen. Now we're going to probably need some news, some momentum to happen for that. And I imagine that when we do, the whales will move first. They're going to try and beat the retail, I'm sure, as well. And so cool. All right. So I'm not talking about the big existing whales, but potentially, any opportunity they see of buying it. I noticed that Overwatch has not invested in liquid loans. Overwatch has not invested in Mintra, things like that. And even Hedron, I think they've claimed the Hedron. I think that's because they have some internal policies or something around that place. I did see a tweet from Overwatch about that, a comment that he responded to somebody, and so they haven't picked that up. So it's pretty interesting to see that. So that means, I guess there's more volume for you guys out there in that case. All right, so let us see how we are at the moment. Obviously, we're still in the uptrend, so we've still got the price reversal in play, and of course, we probably need to get a nice green candle today or tomorrow, and certainly not break down. We can't really break down below 10.9 cents. It's not a good sign. So as long as we hold up where we are at the moment, we are breaking out of this resistance on the wedge, and of course, we're just sitting on there at the moment, but we're kind of breaking out of it. And of course, the next day and maybe day and a half are pretty critical for that, as to we want a nice little green candle to get over this this resistance here. But we're pretty much trying to crack it at the moment in real time, so that's pretty cool. The other thing, of course, is that we have got next resistance is the big one, and of course, at the moment, I've moved that down to around about the 20 cent mark. So if we just slowly move up to the right here, let me just get a nice little arrow. So if we sort of moved up this way, that would be, let me just put that on there, bam. So if we kind of move up this way, that's the kind of direction. And obviously nothing always goes in a straight line. Sometimes it can beat the line, sometimes it can curved in like this line here, but this is kind of where we're heading at the moment. The other thing, of course, is that the double hex, let me just take away the, no, the banner's not too bad. Basically, we've got the doubling here on the 19th of March. And of course, I doubt we're going to get that right unless we had the biggest candle ever. We've still got a few days before that, but not many. I've only got 5 days, so we're not going to do that. We could have a much higher price after that, though. Once we get closer to Pulsechain, we all know it. When Pulsechain comes, man, everyone's going to FOMO in. It's going to be a no-brainer, right? So people that are not buying Hex at the moment will regret it, right? So I don't really think we'll break down to 8 cents or that mark. Because if we do get down to 8 cents, there's always the risk of going down to 3 cents, right? So I just don't see it. But I mean, it's always a possibility. I see the scenario is pretty small, maybe a 10% chance. But hey, the markets will do what the markets do. So that's just the way it goes. So at the moment, though, looking pretty positive in a nice little uptrend. And of course, today is holding up pretty well so far, even though it's slightly red today. It's still holding up fairly well in the uptrend mark there. So we'll keep watching that for sure. But at the moment, we did get a trend reversal, and hopefully we'll get another good day here, and that will start to start to solidify the uptrend on there. So not too bad. All right, cool. All right, so that's where it is at the moment. At the moment, I've got Pulsechain launching 15th of April. I'm not even sure if that's the right day. Let me just refresh this page to make sure I can pull up the dates again. I don't know why they disappear. It's just probably a little bug or something that is in the chart setup. I'm not sure. Let us refresh that. Pull that up there, and hopefully we've got this going to show up now. Let's wait for it to render, folks. We have patience here. We have patience. Let us get it on there. Yeah, we've got that back now. So I've got that 19th. No, so I've got to move that over. I just put that there arbitrarily the other day, remember, if you remember. So we've still got a few days to the 15th. This is the earliest date I've got at the moment for the launch of Pulsechain. Is about 30 days away or 1 month. That's the earliest time frame. That's the key stuff. Obviously, it could happen later, but that's the earliest time frame at this stage. With Pulsechain testnet 2.50 expected within the next couple of days, and of course, then Pulsechain testnet 3. Both of those are expected to be short. So I've got 2 weeks each for those, and then getting to the middle of April at the moment is the earliest date. It's kind of where we're at there. We do still need the block height for the mainnet, and of course mainnet itself are the two big triggers. How Richard communicates that's going to be interesting. Obviously the validators for the mainnet need to know that that's going to be up, because when you have 33 validators at least going to be in rotation for the Pulsechain, so that's at least got to be known to the validators. Maybe like someone like David Feder might get some private notice from the developers that mainnet's coming. But we are getting closer. We are getting very close, I would say. We've got pretty much everything ticked off. We've got all the MVP ticked off. We've got the validators ticked off. We've got Pulse X is basically finished with some, UI improvements and a few other little things. And that all that leaves after that is the AMM bot to finish. So working out how basically version 2, harvesting version 2 has been done, SushiSwap, Uniswap, but how to do version 3 mathematics, because it's so more complicated. As I said yesterday, you've got one-sided liquidity, you've got different fee structures, you've got different parts of the price curve that you can allocate your liquidity to. So it's a lot more complicated. So just how they're going to work the maths for that, and then the programming. So they're pretty smart guys. So I imagine they will have access to that, possibly even some mathematicians. I'm not sure what Richard's got in that store, but it's going to be pretty interesting to see that play out. So very, very cool. All right, so that's what we're looking forward to at the moment, and we'll see how Richard signals that stuff. Obviously, Richard Hart's YouTube is taken down, as I said at the beginning of the open. Please get out and retweet to YouTube creators on Twitter. I did a post there on the community tab to try and get Richard Hart's back. That often can work. Just petitioning YouTube creators on Twitter. They may lift up the profile of checking that out and actually intervening if necessary. On the takedown, we definitely want to get Richard's back up because that I expect by the time Pulsechain's finished, Richard will be up at 500,000, 1 million subscribers. You know what I mean? Like when Pulsechain launches, it's going to be pretty epic. So definitely help out with it. I think it's important. All right, cool. That is pretty much that. Let's have a look at the DMI as well. We can see that here that the sellers just cooled off a little bit, but at the moment we're kind of in an okay position, kind of neutral position. Sellers have dropped down, so sellers is dropping down, but so are buyers. The momentum is dropping down, but still very positive. 29 for sellers, but that's not where we want it to be. We want obviously the buyers to come up, but we're zigzagging up at the moment. Let's hope we get another zigzag. This is where we want to head. The buyer's direction up here, the seller's direction down here, and of course the momentum up over here and over the 25 mark, which is the yellow line. That gives us a trend confirmation, which unfortunately has been for sellers at the moment. So we want to reverse that around, get a crossover there. Also, finally, the RSI is giving us. Let me just jump out of there. The RSI is got plenty of room to move up, so we can really rock it up there. So at the moment, we're sitting around 40, around the 40 mark. We can got lots of room to move up. Cool. Let's have a look at the markets. Looking pretty positive. You know me, I love half bear markets. I don't want the price of crypto to be that low. I see some commentators out there in the Hex Pulsechain. They're welcome to their opinion, but I don't really want to go down to full bear markets, just so I can pick up some bags, because all the wealth goes down. We're in a pretty volatile environment now with high inflation, with geopolitical conflicts and issues and risks and things. We really don't want that. Obviously, we've got a rate rise as well with the Fed. Monetary policy, that sort of stuff. So we have a few issues around the place, as well as particularly stuff that's actually starting to hit people with food prices and petrol prices and stuff like that, which has been in the pipeline for a while, but is really starting to step up there. So it's definitely, we want to see the fact that people have good asset values and good incomes, so that they can buy crypto, buy Pulsechain, buy PulseX, and all that other good stuff that's on top of it. So that's pretty much it. So very, very cool at the moment. I'm pretty happy with this, to be honest, given what's going on in the world at the moment. All right, so we want it to last, right? We want it to last, so very cool. All right, so nice one here. Now let's get on to Hedron. Before we do that, we're going to get into the chat and just catch up with what everyone's saying. Might have some cool insights from the community here. Let's check it out. Archie Slaubert's in the house from Auckland. Like. A big shout out to you, Archie. Hope everyone's good in Auckland there. And Tintop says they will keep buying Hex and staking 555 as long as people keep investing. That's right, Tintop. The Hex Investment Trust is power. And not only that, but Hex is the only one that I know of with that, right? That like Grayscale. And of course, you see Grayscale went from Bitcoin to Ethereum to Litecoin, all that other sort of groups there. I'm pretty sure Litecoin's on there, all those other ones on there. So very, very cool. Craig Welling's got all the emojis in the house. Hey, Craig, I wonder if you've got the let me just check there. I wonder if you've got the latest one there. No, you didn't. You haven't put the. Oh yeah, you did. No, I don't know if you did, but anyway, you got the Richard Hart emoji there on the Hex Token channel logo. Crypto Manic says, I'm curious about what chain they prefer, or they delegate risk by splitting 50 after the fork. Okay, so that I can tell you, I think that they clearly prefer Pulsechain. So they're waiting for Hex on Pulsechain. They kind of see that as the way the Kinetics phrased it was that's going to be the real Hex going forward. Although I do think that that's a kind of little pivot from him, to be honest. But I think that he's come around to that view as Hex on Pulsechain. Obviously, because it's going to be super fast, super cheap. It is going to be Richard Hart's chain, if you think about it. And of course, that's a part of the whole ecosystem. So yeah, I definitely think that there's going to be preference there. Gen Hex says, smash the like. Woohoo! Oh, nice one, Gen X. And don't forget to go subscribe Gen X YouTube channel. The latest promoter in Hex crypto. Very, very cool. Pulsechain, PulseX. Tinder says me too, and Hedron plays a role too. Absolutely. Xmix says great. And what else we got? What's up? Hexillionaire. That's a pretty cool name. I like it. Tintot says you know what's up. Yeah. PulseX is in the house as well. Woo-hoo-hoo. Hey, PulseX, good to see you. Brendan's there too. Just finished mounting new TV on the wall, watching the stream on the big screen now. Woo! Hey, big screen. Yeah. Big screen. I love big screens. Woo! You're going to be able to watch all the good sports too, Brendan. That's going to be pretty neat. Tin Top's got the emojis in the house as well. Looking very good. My guess for PLS mainly is April the 14th, says Jimbo. See, I think that's what I've got. I've got April the 15th, so that's pretty good, Jimbo Sticks. Jin next says, welcome. Nice. Rocket Train says Tin Top, absolutely. Miles of Crypto's in the house. What would be your current buy-in levels for Hex in your opinion? Now, I've been DCAing in now. So I've been DCAing in the price of Hex at the moment. And I've been done 5 buys. No, 6 buys now. 6 buys on this. So very, very cool. So I've been DCA'd in here. I DCA'd in here. And what else what price is this at the moment? So I DCA'd here, and DCA'd in this candle here. So that's what I've done. So pretty much. So cool. Woohoo! Yeah, so I've basically called this the bottom. I think the probability is 70% that this is the bottom, and therefore 30% chance of us retracing down to either sideways or down. I think that if we hit 8 cents, a lot of people talk about capitulation. Hey, we could always do it, but I kind of see that as a 10%. So really, I see upside 30%, 20% sideways, 10% down is kind of my proportions. And of course, this is based on the long-legged dojo here. That's kind of got a statistical element to it. So like a 65% chance. I'm a little bit more bullish on that. So yeah, that's kind of where I feel about that as well. We're in the middle of the Bollinger Bands, almost, not quite, and we're almost breaking out that downward resistance. They're kind of more bullish things too, in my view. And we've kind of seen that on the DMI. They're starting to cross over. They haven't crossed over, but they're starting. They've come a long way towards that. So yeah, it's kind of where I feel. DCA now, obviously not investment advice. You've got to do your own investment due diligence. I'm just, giving my opinion as infotainment on this channel as we talk about Hex, Pulsechain, and PulseX. Cool. All right, let's get into, I think almost up to date there on the comments. I think I have a few more to go. How many languages do you speak, if you don't mind? I speak 1, but I speak about a few words of about 10 other languages. Does that make sense? I speak 1 language fluently, English, and I can speak about words from about 10 other languages, which is probably fairly common. A lot of people, if you watch movies, you probably picked up words from other languages. Gen Hex says, of all the half bear market, half bear. Yeah, that's right. What else we got going there? Let's jump down here. Craig Wayne's got some more cool emojis. Sandra's in the house. Hey, Sandra. Good day. Hey, good to see you, Sandra. And Jimmy Six in there. Likey, says Sandra. Absolutely. And what else we got? Brendan says NRL has just started in the V8 Supercars party at my place. Nice one. That's going to be fun, Brendan, with the big TV too. I got in at 12.5. I have a limit order for 10.89. Hey, nice, Miles. That's pretty good. Hey, your limit order might get hit. So it's always a chance. So that would be on my sideways 20% chance. So it's always a possibility. Tin Top says Hex under 25 cents is a buy, under 15 cents is all in, and PB and J sandwiches for the week. I think so too, Tin Top. It's pretty good. Cool. Charity's got the claps on. All right, nice. Let's jump over to topic number 3, Hedron. Here we go. Bam. And of course, look at this. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. I've actually been pretty good with my price calls on this, to be honest. Now I've got price calls that are higher than this, but they're for the first month or two. So we're only in early days, right? So my price calls in my previous videos are for the next month or two, because I do think that this can actually do really well and within a 2-month time frame. And it's had a lot of community support. But of course, in the shorter term, prices just don't go up and to the right. They do cool off. Momentum does calm down, and that's what we're seeing right now. But that said, we haven't completely had a capitulation or a huge correction to the bottom yet, because we have got some support here. It's very simple support, very flimsy support, but nevertheless, we got support here at 4,600. At the moment, we're at 5,200. I actually, and to be honest, I ended up selling some Hedron yesterday. I sold it up here at the top around about 6,900 or something like that, because I just was watching the chart and I was going, oh, I think this is running out of steam. I did say that to you in my previous chart. I said, first of all, we had this angle here going up, and of course it was very steep, so that was cool. As long as it's kind of obeying that, it's cool. But then we came down to this angle, and I mentioned that in my videos, that we came down to this angle so that we were losing momentum, and of course then we dropped down through that exactly as these angles kind of indicate. They're not the holy grail, but they indicate that there's weakening support as the angle sort of gets lower and lower, that momentum and support is moving out. That's buyer support over sellers. And once prices do get up here, you're always going to, despite the fact that Hexkins, who are mostly getting most of these tokens, there are people that have speculated at the bottom when the price was at 550, 700, 800. They picked up stuff there. Of course, many of you on this channel did that. Good on you, lucky. But the fact is, when you see these angles start to break down, the price breaks down. So it hit this support, and of course, then the price breaks down, hits this support here. So this support is based on this. We find the support lines there. That's how we make these lines. Then it started riding it up here. We talked about this yesterday in the live stream. We were over here, and then it came up here. So typically when it break down here, what we saw was in this candle here, we saw $670,000 buy. That really changed the game. So it pushed it back up again, and we actually went to a pretty good high. That was not maintained. It was sold into, and of course we get some people selling in here, and away we go. So it kept zigzagging up here. Still a lot of interest. You can see a lot of interest still coming in. But as we got up to this range here, up to the what was our top price here? 7,272. Once we got into this low 700s, the market started to really have trouble moving higher. And of course, at the moment, the price, my price target, which got met, was 6,361. So that actually got met. And of course, we kept on just going above that. We had a nice strong little resurgence here. Kept going, but the market just wouldn't go. Again, what's that, 4 or 5 attempts in this price range, and then it's failed, right? So typically, if you have fails 3 times in a row, you got to get a bit nervous about the fact that it's not going to make it over. This was a bit counterintuitive because we had a big move up here, but then it managed to fail. So after 5 attempts, so it actually was trying to hold this line here, this line through here, but didn't manage to do that pretty much. Let me just get that in there. So trying to hold this line, and then it collapsed down to this line. So still losing momentum. At the moment, of course, we're starting to collapse now. The price is starting to collapse. When I say collapse, it's not like the end of days, but you know what I mean? It's starting to break down from this price here. Yeah, that's coming down. Now, we've got very basic support here. Obviously, this was also the bottom here, around here. So we've got very flimsy support. It's not like we've got lots of touchdowns on this line, but this 4,600 is kind of where this may go. It's not inevitable, but look, it's going pretty strong at the moment. It could bounce off this 4.6. The next support, of course, is way back down here, and of course that is our previous area, 3,300. Remember, that was one of our previous targets, and of course it could go down there. Don't be alarmed if it does. A lot of people have made huge profits, and as we say, let's go to the daily, because this is the hourly chart. Let's go to the daily chart. And of course, let's bring this into a bit more perspective so we can see that. All right, not sure that's not moving there. All right, so let's hide the items there. Let's go to the ruler, And of course, we can see, I'm not sure why that, I think it's this here, yeah. So we're going to pull this in here. And of course, you can see that we went up almost 12x, basically 12x from the low in 9 days. So massive pump up, huge price rise, huge excitement. But the market, I said to you in my videos, the market doesn't always just go up and to the right like that. And 12x is a pretty awesome, even in crypto, is pretty outstanding. So we ended up coming down. You can see the volumes, obviously the prices and volumes start to reduce a little bit too. So that's what's happening there. And we've pulled back so far. So at the moment, we're down from the top. Let's have a look here, down from the top about 28%. So this could easily go, down to much higher. Let's have a look, get out the Fibonacci's. Take Fibonacci from there. And of course, we could easily get down to 3,000 here, which is down to my 3,300 support, which is this one here. So that's that support line there. So in between here, it's like a 61.8. That can typically be a retraction. And sometimes you get 50%. Sometimes you get you're lucky if you get 38. We've punched through the 23. 38 would bring us down to 4,600. That's also confirmation of the target area that I was talking about as well. So it definitely that's a possibility now if we have a full retracement. That being said, we have a lot of Hex OGs that have got Hedron. They're just holding on to it. The Origin account, the Hex Godwell, and many other big sharks that have got big dolphins, big squids that have got the Hedron. They're just holding on to it. They're going to play the long game. They're in no rush to mint their tokens. We only see that we've still got a lot of people that haven't minted the tokens. So it's not like 50% maybe. So there's a lot of room there to take into account. I've pointed that every single time I've talked about the price of Hedron is the total supply. And of course, the behavior of Hexskins is much better. So because of the way that behavior works and the culture of Hexskins, for the vast majority, we've still got a lot of speculators from general crypto in there that speculated. But apart from that, we're going to have a lot less selling pressure, I believe, over time. We'll have a much better chance of getting parabolas over time and potentially getting that 100x, that 1000x, despite the fact that there are so many tokens in the market. So let's jump over to the supply and check that out. We're up to 63.3 trillion. 63.3 trillion Hedron now in the market. Obviously, the supply is going to decrease. It's going to grow at a slower rate as the T-share rate in Hex falls. So as the T-share rate here in Hex goes up, there's less T-shares in the market, generally speaking. And of course, takes a lot more economic energy. We can also see there's not much in the liquidity pools to buy. So that's what I'm talking about. Hex is actually relatively scarce despite the price of being at 12.4 cents, because the price of Hex is based on the marginal price, supply and demand at any point in time. And it can quickly shift dynamically. And you guys have seen that before. We've had 13 big price rises in Hex. And of course, that's pretty powerful. So if you go to the Hex site here, you can scroll down to the numbers here. You can see the Hex price doubling there, 13 of them. That's 13 parabolas, folks, moving up there. That's pretty impressive. So you can see that things can change on a dime. And of course, when Pulsechain comes, man, our minds are going to be blown. It is going to be insane in the membrane. At the moment, you ask me, is it a good price to buy? Yeah, I think it's a good price to buy. But once again, it's not investment advice. Could it hit 8 cents? Sure. But like I say, I consider that a 10% probability at the moment. Unless this breaks down below 10.96 cents, then definitely that probability is going to change dramatically. But at the moment, we're in an uptrend. So very, very positive from my point of view. Hedron, of course, is on a retrace. Where is it going to finish? That's the question. It's 5,300. Just be very careful at the moment. It could go to 4,600, could go to 3,000, 3,300, 3,000. Yeah, probably 3,000 there. I think it's going to be a lower pullback than most pullbacks because of the Hexkin culture effect, that people just aren't going to sell their big bags, even though there's so much Hedron in the market. So pretty cool. You can see the holders tab there on the blockchain. And you can see all the top, the 27.3 trillion on the top there, all these other big wallets. As I say, we've got Hex 19, which is great to see that there. So if we look at Hex 19 wallet, that's, I actually won't pick on that one. Let's pick on the one below here, 273. And we're going to go into this wallet, and you can see that this is worth $1.5 million at the moment. And so you can imagine if this decided to just dump, but let's say it did a market buy, worst case scenario, I don't think it's going to do that at all. I just think they're going to hodl and watch this value go up over time. $1.5 million is a lot of money, but if they think that Hedron's going to go 100x, they're not going to stay down here. They'll be, in the hundreds of millions of dollars. So this is the way the game that's going to be played there from the Hexkin point of view. they've got a lot more patience than most other crypto communities. So it's pretty awesome. So I think that's pretty much that on there. We just have to be cautious at the moment. Obviously, there is an obvious retrace on here at the moment. People will speculate and buy in at different points here, all thinking the bounce back is going to happen when they buy in. So that's just the way it's going to be at the stage. So definitely is the case. So yeah, we could definitely get down to 4,600 is probably the most obvious. It's 38% retracement, and of course a 61.8, which happens often with typical cryptos, would be 3,000 to 3,300. But once again, I think with the culture of Hexkins, we might be protected from that. We might get a 4,600 here. Let's see what happens. But let's be very cautious with that. Once again, not investment advice, just my opinion there. But cool. Let us jump out of there. We'll go to the hourly. We're going to get rid of the overlays there. And of course, this is where we're at the moment. So 5,234. Very, very cool. All right. So nice. Let us go. So yeah, I've actually, so I've still got some left, but I've actually flipped quite a bit into Hex at the moment as well. So yeah, because Hex is the main game for me. Obviously, I'm a Hexy Maxi. But once again, I think Hedron's going to be very, very successful as time goes on. The parameters will be in there. So I'll definitely be keeping a watch on these as I always do. Very, very cool. All right. So that is Hedron there. And of course, if you, Hedron is really like a big airdrop to Hex stakers. If you've got native stakes in Hex that you've done through go.hex.com, or if you've done them through Staker app, you can basically claim and mint your tokens. You don't have to mint. You can mint later on in the future. You get paid Hedron for every single day that you have served. So not the future days that you haven't served, but the days that you've served so far. So if you've served 500 days so far of 1,000-day stakes, you will get Hedron paid for every single day served. And of course, at the moment, there's a launch phase where you can get 9x bonus. Now that launch phase is over 100 days. The first 10 days was 10x. The second 10 days was 9x. The third 10 days will be 8x, and so on until the final 100 days. After 100 days, the claim button will disappear. There'll be no launch bonus. At the moment, of course, it's 9x at the moment. You got 4 days and 20 hours to claim that 9x. So there are two functions. There are claim, which means locking in the bonus 9x. So you're going to get 9 times what you would get normally for Hedron per day served for each stake that you've got based on B shares. So take that into account. And of course, in the future, you will always get that 9. So when you serve more days in your stake, you'll always have your 9x locked in. Obviously, if you did it in the first 10 days, you got a 10x locked in. That's pretty easy like that. But if you wait for, say, 20 days from now, you probably have a 7x or 6x, right? So you got to just make sure that you lock in the claim now. You'll have it for the life of the stake. Very, very cool. Now, you don't have, the second function is a mint. You don't have to mint the tokens. That means they'll go to your wallet. You don't have to mint them. You can mint them only when you want to sell them. For example, if you want to sell them in the future, you can mint them then. You don't have to mint them now. So obviously, it costs you a small gas fee every time you do it. If the price is about 30 gwei, that will be about $9 to $10, something like that. So if you're claiming and minting it at the same time, it'll be about $20 at 30 gwei approximately. It might be a little cheaper. And of course, that means that you are claiming against the days served. So if you've got 500 days served of 1,000 days, you can claim that today with the 9x bonus. You'll get that over the 1,000 days. But of course, you'll only get the 500 days that you've served so far. The Hedron for that for B shares. So that's 4 B shares. So there's 1,000 B shares in a T share. A T share means trillion. A B share means billion of shares. Why is there so many shares in Hex? Is because there's so many calculations to be made with compound interest and all that sort of good stuff. So, and there's so many holders. It's just those large numbers make it easy to do the math. The other thing, of course, is that Hedron is linked to Hex. As the T shares go down, so is the amount of mintable Hedron. So that's a supply, holds the supply down over time. And the other thing, of course, is that when people can make new stakes in Hedron, and of course that if you go to the Hedron tab, you can create a Hex and stake instance, and that will you'll be able to make a new stake there. You just put the amount in the day's length, and basically that's going to be a wrapped stake and it'll be NFT, and you can trade that. You can transfer it to other wallets. You can trade it on OpenSea and sell out of a long-term stake. A lot of people are doing 555 stakes, so you can see that's been a big benefit to Hex. Basically, it's staking Hex 555 and never having never selling the original Hex. So it's always locked in there. So it's taking Hex off the market. So it's cool. The other thing, of course, if you want to claim and mint, you can hit the connect button, hook up your MetaMask. You will see your stakes below for that particular wallet. And on the right-hand side, you'll see an action button that will have two functions: claim to lock in your 9x bonus, and of course, a mint, which is actually mints your tokens based on the day served. So obviously in the future, you could mint every day if you want. If you had a Hedron minting every day, obviously you're going to make sure it's economic. Maybe you might want to mint them every 30 days, like a bit of a passive income. You could mint your monthly tokens. Say you mint all your tokens now, and then you mint every month after. You could be like a passive income, or you could just mint them in the future. So you got lots of options there, folks. Very, very cool. Now, there is also borrowing. You can borrow against Hex stakes, so you can borrow against your future days that you haven't served, and you can borrow, get the Hedron up front. Now, you do have obligations to pay that back, and if you fail to pay that back, I think it's after 3 months, then your stake can actually go up for auction. So to be careful about that. There's a lot of gamification around it. Some people with some Excel spreadsheets are probably playing that game. The hexes that get liquidated, they'll go here for auction, and people can bid their Hedron. So that's a use case for Hedron. People actually bid. The winner of the bid, of course, wins the stake, but the Hedron that they actually bid gets burned and destroyed. So that's one of the burn functions there, and that's also another decrease in the amount of Hedron in the future. So there's quite a few pumpermentals there. Very, very cool. Now, we won't see a lot of that stuff for a while in the future. So a lot of this is still early days for Hedron, and of course, over in 6 months' time, 12 months' time, the mechanics, the basic utilities of this platform will really start to play out. Be pretty exciting. Very, very cool. All right, nice on that. Nice. Let's get into the sacrifices, folks. We're up to 1 hour and 6. So we're doing pretty good timing. Let's get into the chat before. We're going to get to the sacrifices next. So we're going to do liquid loans, Mintra, what's it? Internet's Power City, that was it, Power City, and of course Internet Money. Those are the 4 we're going to check out. 3 of them have started already. One's coming up, so nice. Charity's got the claps on. Hey Charity, good to see you in the chat. Gen X says hey Charity, nice one. And let's jump through. John says I may pick up some more Hedron tonight. Says Tintop, yeah, definitely there'll be people in the market. It's just about getting it at the right price, right, when on the pullback. Jim Sticks says you're all over it, Superman. Hedron is very, very nice. I agree with you, Jimbo Sticks, on that one, on both accounts. Jen Hex says I sold off 30% of my Hedron yesterday to SAC for Power City and IMDE SAC price. Figured might as well use free airdrop money for the SAC price. Well done, Jen Hex. It's a real smart move. Very, very smart move. I'm sure a few people have had that idea, myself included. Tyler M says Miles of Crypto. What place can you put in orders to buy Hex? You can put it on Uniswap. So that's pretty much it. You can do it through lots of platforms. You can also do it through the website itself. You can buy Hex here on the website. So check out hex.com. I'll post that in the chat actually. Bam. And you can actually buy. Just have to hook up your MetaMask wallet there. Very, very cool. We've got a Russian bot in the chat there. I'm not sure who's handling that one, but I'm sure it's being dealt with. Where's that one in there? It must have been dealt with up here. Yep, nice. All right. Let's go up here. And I think it's been dealt with. Let me just jump in here. Tyler M says, I just sent 10,000 to CoinSpot and waiting to buy the right time for ETH so I can purchase the Hex on the Hex website. But if there is a way to set a buy order, that will be great because the Hex price moves. Yeah, so you can use 1inch or Matcha IO to do that. I'm not sure if I actually have those up on this website. So you can go to links here on the website. And I think they've got them here. So here's the links here. The 1inch here. So you got the 1inch and you got the Matcha there. So cool. So you can do audits here. Bam, I'll post those too. Boom, that's 1inch. And of course, you can do that also on Matcha. Bam. So check that out. There are videos on YouTube about these. So just make sure you use the official links. Cool. Nice. All right. So what else we got going? Tyler says, I trade USDC Hex on Matcha. It is a DEX aggregator that usually gives you the best price overall. Absolutely, Tintop. I just posted some links to those. Can you also use USD Tether instead of your ETH? Just an option. Well, it will route the money. You can set 11 orders and Matcha, but they won't fall into the big orders limits. Yeah. So we'll route different currencies through the order books, but it's always better to use the currency, I find, like USDC or something directly. Door Shadow says Hexkin for lights. Absolutely, Door Shadow. I agree with that. And a Sinful Believer says, at this point, do you guys trust Hedron enough to recommend it? Recommend it. Well, we don't recommend stuff on this channel. Let one if anyone in the chat will recommend it to you. I just think that it's can be pretty good for Hex, in my view. The Door Shadow says, awesome stream, love it. Hey, me too. I love it too. Thanks, Door Stream. I love it. Woo-hoo-hoo! And of course, Stintot says a 10,000 limit order should fill. 1 inch does the same as Matcha, but you need to use a VPN if in the United States. Good point. Go. And a linked forever Hedron is. Yeah, absolutely. I think Hedron and Hex are kind of linked together now. And Hedron adds a lot of new functionality to Hex. And I think overall it will be a net benefit. I think that there's been a little bit of impact on the Hex price in the short term. I think that will probably not be so bad over the long term, with the net benefit of staking 555 going to be very, very good for Hex. So I think that's kind of they're linked in that way. I'm in on liquid loans, big time, says Miles of Crypto. Yeah, well, a lot of people are here. So we're going to be talking about that next up. That's going to be cool. Nice. And Tim Tot says, and yes, in my opinion, if you're not claiming to your stakes and buying Hedron at these prices, and you haven't figured out Hedron game theory yet, just my opinion. Jimbo Slick says, I'll be living in the liquidation page for bargains for sure. And nice, I've posted a couple of those links there if you want to get buy Hex on the market there, direct new swap, or you can use 1 inch to set limit orders and stuff like that, or that one there. I actually posted 1 inch twice. I'm not sure why I did that. How did I get that twice? That's weird. Let me just delete that. That's I posted the wrong one there. Not sure why that was. Bam. Let me remove. Cool. What was the other one there? You got Matcha. Did I get Matcha there? Matcha. Let's post Matcha. Copy and paste that. That's Matcha. So those are the ones you should have there to keep onto it. I'm not sure why there's so many OEs there, though. Also got OEs there. Nice. Luke Duke says, she asked me where all my money went. One day I'll tell her, says Luke Duke. Nice one. We probably know too. So nice. All right, so let's get into the sacrifices. Here we go. Boom, 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 boom. All right, topic number 4. The sacrifices, and of course, this is actually our last topic today. We've got 9 minutes to go or so, unless we run over. We've got $45.5 million US sacrificed for liquid loans, 9,104 wallets, and this is probably with the pools and stuff like that. We're probably up at 15 to 20,000 or somewhere at wallets. We've got 1,096 billion loan tokens. This is a massive success. Now, I do see the liquid loans guys team still talking about longer pays better and other stuff like that, but I really, there's a lot of money sacrificed for this. I think it's kind of plenty. What do you guys reckon? I think so. I think it's pretty super successful, and it's probably that's probably why it's tapered off there. We've got 8 days and 8 hours left in the sacrifice to go. We've got obviously your address here. You can paste that in for indicative. At the end of the sacrifice period, Jexa, from the Liquid Loans team said that there will be a website or a site up there to see your actual official balances, and that will include your earlier pays better, your bigger pays better, your longer pays better, plus your referral bonus if you used a referral link like the one on this channel. So that's 4 different ways of getting your max amount of loan tokens. Most of the people on this channel sacrificed in the first 10 days, so they really maxed out on those benefits, but you can still sacrifice now. But the earlier pays better rate's gone up. Just take that into account. And a way of offsetting that is by longer pays better and using a referral code. That's the only way of picking up loan tokens from that point of view. All right, so cool. We've got the Magic Carpet Ride team number 1, of course. Hex Gold Bar number 2. Everything else looks pretty much the same in the top 10. The Magic Carpet Ride really seems to be the only one adding every day, because that's a pool or a syndicate of people from around the world that are sacrificing together as one group to try and get the big multiplier for the bigger pays better, and they were successful. Of course, they've got a multiplier between 2.2 and 2.5. Pretty awesome. Let's see what the latest sacrifice they did. I got the 11th of March. Is it the 11th? What day is it today? 13th. We've got anything else there? Do we have any? 12th of March? I guess that's it. The 12th of March, they've got 300, 600, 21, 24, 24, 28. 30, 42. They seriously, but 42. I see $42,000, $4,200. Sorry, looks like what they've increased the last one. So nice. So still increasing there. Let's have a look here. You can see it's really tapered off the total amount here. Yesterday was 45,577, 45,632. So that's up about 60K. maybe 50K, just over 50K, maybe 55,000 in one day. And of course, you can see the change there. We're going to jump through some of this. Now, remember, there's longer pays better. That's the third bonus. And of course, we've got the Hex Gold Whale there at 24 months. That means their loan tokens won't be able to be issued over 24 months, but they will get 150% more tokens. And of course, the $17.7 million out there. Amazing, super successful feature of the sacrifice is the long pays better. And that's been pretty successful there. We can see that 18 months, 12 months, and 6 months was pretty popular. Obviously, the Magic Carp Ride team were focused on these periods as well. And then, of course, $17 million now sacrificed for getting the loan tokens straight away. Now, maybe 80% of these or something might get put on the platform to earn the fees in the early days, and the fees will ramp up over time. As, of course, as Pulsechain is more successful, loan tokens will be more successful. Be pretty much the preeminent lending facility as the platform launches. It won't be at least until a month after Pulsechain launches. And of course, they need two things. They need to get the audits for any amendments they've made to the liquidity code to fit onto Pulsechain with its own tokenomics. And number two, they need a Pulse pricing feed. So they need to have that, and they need redundancy in there as well. So that the pricing is always calculated correctly. Otherwise, the platform, will fall over. So this is not going to be run by anybody. Remember, when the smart contracts go live, they are live. Nothing can be done to fix those up. So they've got to be 100% correct when they go live a month after. And of course, with $45 million behind it, you definitely want it to be working well, right? So very, very cool. All right. So number of wallets is cool. We'll jump past all that. We can see that the total position here, a Magic Carp Ride team's got 23.13% of supply. The Hex Gold Whale's got 19.64%, and number 3 position is 3.7%. Like I say, the Magic Carp Ride team's got a mix between instantly and 2 years delay, of course, but the Hex Gold Whale is all delayed. So it's almost 20% is delayed for 2 years, will not be able to go onto the platform and earn those fees. But of course, it will be counting on the fact that after 2 years, Pulsechain is super successful. Liquid loans, of course, is worth a lot of money. And of course, when they get the 100% more tokens, they'll be sitting pretty happy with that. With the extra volume, then they can go and stake on the platform if they wanted to, and of course earn the fees, or they could, I don't know, sell. But of course, Hex Gold Whale is a long-term player, is played long-term. Very, very cool. Let's see what day we are at the moment. Of course, we're on day, I don't know, was it 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. All right, so day 22. And of course, it's 5,568 loan tokens per dollar. This is earlier pays better. And of course, we've got tomorrow, it's going to be down to 5,300. So it's almost down 250 points tomorrow. And of course, we're in the final week. Are we? 3? Yeah, in the final week. Day 30 is the last day. Earlier pays better will be 3,768 per dollar. And then, of course, that's over on the 30th. The 20th March. I can't wait till it's over, to be honest. It's over. Yeah. I do think these sacrifices should be shorter. I've said that 3 days in a row because every time I look at it, I think, yeah, it could be shorter, shorter. Hey, but it is a lot of fun. It has been a lot of fun, especially the first 10 days were a lot of fun for sure. Let's go on to Mitra and quickly go through this one. This is the sacrifice. Let's go, and maybe later. Let's see how we're doing. So almost $10.5 million on Mitra. Super accessible. This is an NFT marketplace. It'll be one of the first 2 from the looks of it, at least on Pulsechain. Of course, all the NFTs over on Ethereum will be copied over to Pulsechain, and they will need a marketplace to buy and sell. And of course, this is one of the biggest money makers in crypto. So it's kind of a very attractive thing. $10.5 million so far. And of course, there's 1,803,000,000 mint tokens. There's 5 days and 12 hours left to go until the sacrifice phase ends. So this is actually ending before liquid loans even. So very, very cool. You can check out your indicative points here with your wallet. Just paste it in. At the moment, of course, the Hex Gold Whale's also in this $4 million. And as I say, we haven't seen Overwatch participate in liquid loans because they obviously have some issues around these other projects potentially. And of course, we've got $1 million there. And of course, let's go to the top 50, $1,100 to get in the top 500 there. So, and you can see the points that they're getting, about 120,000 points. Nice. Of course, it's tapered off here. Not much difference between yesterday. It was yesterday 486. Today is 486. There's not a lot of change there in the Mitra one. So not a lot more sacrificing happening. A lot of smaller wallets, of course, is characterized with the Hex Gold Whale and the other millionaire making up a bulk share. the Hex Gold Whale. So Hex Gold Whale controlled about 20% of liquid loans. It controls 49%, almost half of Mintra. Could you imagine? Awesome, awesome, awesome. I imagine they'll probably never sell it, because if this is successful, they'll get pretty much a 0.5% of the revenue that's going through the platform, pretty much. So if there's a 2.2% fee, they'll be making 0.5%, pretty much a quarter of that fee from the looks of it, based on the tokenomics. So pretty exciting there. The other thing, of course, is that they've only got a few days left, and of course, let's have a look at the rate. The rate at the moment, you can get 58 mint tokens per dollar. And of course, there's only a few days left. The last day, tomorrow will be 55. Today's 58. The last day will be 45.8. So that's earlier pays better. That's all they've got. Just a simple sacrifice there. Cool, cool. And let us jump over to the final one here. We've got Power City. And of course, this website is hexpulse.info. If you want to check out all these sacrifices in your own time, hexpulse.info. Check that out. Of course, here we are, 886,000. This is obviously smaller. This is actually with the Magic Carpet Ride team themselves, help running this project, I understand, with the developers. So 886,000. There's 867 wallets, and so far there is almost 2 million watt tokens, just about. At the moment, you get earlier pays better 2 watt tokens per dollar. In 3 days and 20 hours, it's going to drop down to 1.75 watt tokens per dollar. You can check your wallet address there, of course, for your estimated points. At the moment, we've got the top whale there, 47,000, so very different scale from the other two we looked at. And, of course, they're getting about 114,000 points there. And we can check on that and see what that's made up of as well. So we've got day one sacrifice, a rate 2-for-1. That's their points. And, of course, they got a PS bonus. There's a participation bonus, I think, 0.4 on that as well. So obviously these guys have earlier pays better, and they also have, if you participated in Pulsechain, liquid loans, and internet money, which hasn't even opened yet, then you will be able to get a bonus, up to 55% bonus on that. So that's pretty cool. You can actually check out all that out on the Power City site here. So we go up to there, and we go up to the sacrifice page. You can actually pull that up here on the website, and of course you can see you have the earliest. Say yes, you have the earlier pays better bonus here, and then of course you have the participation bonus here, the price sacrifices here, up to 55% for all of these. And it's got a nice example here of how those points work. Very, very cool. They've also got a target here that if they reach a certain amounts, at the moment, they've done the 500,000. They've given 16 random wallets 25% as they reach different total amount of sacrifices. So the next target is $1 million. They got 32 random wallets will get 25% bonus. So it's a nice little extra to this gameplay. Cool. Let's jump back to that. And of course, let's move on to, I think we're on to wallets there. Let's go to top 50. So $186 is in the top 500. So it's very small compared to the other ones. You get about 402 points there as well, depending on your sacrifices you participated on there. The amount volume is just going into the right there. So we'll see how that goes. A lot of small wallets, of course. The distribution is the best out of all of them, right? Out of all the sacrifices so far. Look at this. Beautiful distribution. Not a lot of big giant whales owning 50% or 20%. It is really distributed there. Cool. So far, we're on day number 7. So a week into it. And, of course, you get 2 points per $1. In a couple of days' time, that will go down to 1.75, then 1.5, then down to 1.2 watt tokens per dollar, and then finally down to 1 for 1. The last day is on the 5th of April. And, of course, before that finishes, the internet money would have started. So that's the results, folks, for the 3 big sacrifices on at the moment. We're going to jump over to IM. Of course, IM's got the sacrifice starting in 20 hours. Woohoo! Make sure you do your investment due diligence before this time. If you're going to sacrifice, don't just sacrifice because there's a sacrifice. Think about what you're actually putting your sacrifice into. Obviously, for all these projects, there's no work from expectations from others. So you know what that means, right? So it means you need to do your investment due diligence on this one. And very, very cool. 20 hours this is starting up. We'll be covering this tomorrow. Of course, we will have 4 hours by the time we cover tomorrow. It'll be 4 hours into it. So very, very cool. We'll be talking about the sacrifice results for this. I will post you the link in the video description if you want to do your checkout, everything about it. Get onto Telegram, any AMAs with these guys. Get onto, I know Magic Carpet Ride have had these guys on there. Get onto Twitter, do your due diligence, and check that out for sure. So that's all the stuff that's going to be ETH and Binance Smart Chain with these tokens. It's a shame they've got Hex on there. To be honest, it's a little disappointing to see Hex on there. If this is going on the Pulsechain, not really cool. Otherwise, everything else is okay. I don't really like seeing Hex on a sacrifice. It's not cool. Now, this is the tokenomics is different for this. It's basically going to be a very small supply, which is different from all the others. All the others are basically, as more money comes in, the supply gets bigger. Whereas this here is actually limited supply. It's going to sell out. It sells out either when 1.2 million or 70% of the IMD token is sold out. So once again, check that out. And so it's got the pools there. Just check out the website here, and you'll be able to check all the details there for sure. Now, they will be on this challenge here. You can see they're going to be on the Hex Pulse website. This is what we're going to be getting the data from. And, of course, you can see that I think they're coming up. They're up on here. Pulsechain. No, maybe they're not on. Here it is here. Sorry. Internet Money. So this is the one here. They will be up here at the moment. Hasn't started here. Starts in 20 hours time. And, of course, it's all blank at the moment. So cool. That's the final one, folks. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Let's get into the comments. And rock it on, rock on. Tyler M says, so for 1 inch, do I still need ETH? Yes, says Tin Top. How I made it here, I'm here to show liquid lines, says I meant. Well, you're a little bit late because we've been talking about liquid lines for how many days now? We've been talking about liquid lines for ages and ages. So anyway, Tin Top says we just recommend Hex USDC because it's the most liquid pair, but it's easier to go ETH Hex because you must pay gas fees and ETH. Absolutely, Tin Top. Well said. Hey, Archie Slabbit says, where can we see liquid loans page and sacrifices? Well, I think I've just gone through that, haven't I? But we'll go back here. I'll post that in for you if you like on here. And bam, let's post that. There's the liquid loans link, folks. If you want to get access to that, bam. All right, cool. Now, if you have missed the liquid loans coverage, we covered it just a little earlier ago, maybe 10 minutes ago. You can check out just by rewinding. I think there's a link on the LL website. I can't remember offhand, so I don't want to send you the wrong place. Craig Wanning's posted the link before I did. Well done. And all sacks on Pulsechain. Absolutely. Those are all of them on there. How I made it, we DGN sack on anything. That seems to be the case there. I made it. The DGNs, man. You're crazy. You're crazy. All right. Nice one. All right, so Archie's got the thanks. Oh, you're welcome there. Cool. All right, so there's the links to the Internet Money Sacrifice, and there's the link to Hex Pulse, which has got all the sacrifices, all the projects on Pulsechain that are sacrificing using Richard Hart's method. Trying to get around the Howey test. I don't think they all qualify technically, but hey, that's not my problem, right? Not my problem. I'm just covering this stuff here. All right, so cool. Hey, we're coming up on an hour and a half. I've got no poll, so there's no poll in there, folks. Don't forget, big stuff here. So Richard Hart's YouTube channel is down. Please do what you can. I have posted a link on the community tab. Go to YouTube Creative. Follow that link on YouTube. Just write your comments, just in support of getting Richard back. And hopefully they'll respond to that. Typically, that's kind of the better way of getting a channel back up. And, of course, that would be a huge help, of course. So get into there. The other thing, of course, is HexGen, latest YouTuber on Hex, Pulsechain, and PulseX. That's Craig Wadding in our chat there, moderator, Hex Token channel member, doing his own perspective on Hex, Pulsechain, and PulseX. Another promoter of these projects. Wonderful to see. Please go and subscribe to HexGen. I will add his channel to the channels tab after the live stream, so you can definitely check that out. I'll put that up within a couple of minutes. So definitely check out, go subscribe. As well, part of the Hex community, Pulsechain community, PulseX community is that we support each other in whatever way we can online, and of course that's pretty cool. And in the real world too, as you see at the Hexpo and places like that, helping out people in need as well is typically stuff cool. So get onto that as well. Finally, don't forget subscribe to this channel. Like, of course, smash that like button, hit the bell, and share to everybody that you possibly can. It's really nice when see that send out for sure. And if you want to join as a channel member, hit the join button. We've got Pulsechans, Hexkins, and the Richard Hart Club. Get into it, folks, as we promote those projects well into the future. The things that this is really the quiet space between the storm. When Pulsechain comes, it's going to be you're going to be trying to hold on to a little dinghy boat inside a massive storm. When Pulsechain launches, it's going to be that big. It's going to rock crypto land, and of course, it's going to be fun to watch. the biggest airdrop in crypto history, the biggest yield farm in crypto history, the biggest, fastest way to mass adoption, the super fast, super cheap chain, deflationary tokenomics, buy and burns, fee burns, you name it, liquid loans, pump and mentors, it just goes on and on. Bridges, fiat gateways, all landing pretty much at the same time. Boom. It's going to shock everybody. It's going to be awesome, man. It's going to be the ultimate. All right. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Take care, everybody. And I will just sign off now. Thanks for watching. We're up to an hour and a half. Pretty good in my view. Let me go here. Bam. And watching. All right. Don't forget, today's the cheapest Gwei price. Typically, Sundays, 1 to 3 a.m. UTC is typically the best time. So, cool. Let's get into that one. And let's go put some emojis in the house. I'm going to post a new one. Woohoo! What have we got? 5, 6, 7 emojis now. Woohoo! If you're a Hex Token channel member, represent. Let us send us out with flying colors here, because that's what we like to see with the Hex emojis for sure. Nice one. Let's get back to the biggest news of the day. Of course, is the Hex Investment Trust launching. Man, oh man, this is going to be big over time. It's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. It's going to be awesome. It's going to pump all the bags. All the bags going to be pumped. Pump. Yeah. Pump. All right, enough of that. I've been crazy enough for a while. I'm not even drinking any wine or anything, even though I don't really drink wine, but you know what I'm talking about. All right, take care now, everybody. Bye for now.